Meanwhile, a new report by Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch says the police killed at least 33 people and injured hundreds more in parts of Nairobi in the protests against the August 8th election results. The report cites cases of unlawful killings, excessive force and beatings, especially in opposition strongholds in Nairobi, Western Kenya and the coast. Our reporter Zinzi Kibiku has the details of that report.
Mtoa kwa nyumba sasa wamemweka kwa mtaro, walianza kuwapigia kwa nyumba kwanza ndio kawatoa nje, ndio sasa wanawapigia hapa kwa sasa namkanyagia hapa nje. Nikasema mtoto wangu wa shule form 4 nampiga kwa nini?
Christian Lebo's son, Silas Lebos, is just one of the people whose names are on the list of individuals who lost their lives in the violence experienced after August 8th elections. Researchers found that although police behaved appropriately in some instances, in many others they shot or beat protesters to death. Remember 9-year-old Stephanie Mora Nyarangi? She was shot dead while standing on the balcony of her family's apartment in Nairobi's Mathare area. In the capital alone, at least 33 people died, possibly 50, and hundreds more were injured. Of this, 17 were killed in Kawangware. 12 other people died in Western Kenya.
My question a lot of the time is, if you know that there are elements within the protests that are engaged in act of criminality, why don't you arrest them?
Yes.
What is so hard about this? Secondly, a lot of the time I hear people, including senior politicians, senior, police leadership, saying, we have to defend people's businesses. Guess what? That is your job.
The report indicates that armed police, most of them from the GSU and administration police, carried out law enforcement operations in Mathare, Kibera, Babadogo, Dandora, Korogocho, Kariobangi and Kawangware neighborhoods. Suppression of freedom of expression did not go undocumented. Police are alleged to have sought to cover up the crackdown by smashing phones and cameras used to document the police response to the protests. The police are also said to have obstructed and ejected from the area journalists who were covering protests in Kibera.
Because of social media platform, the speed at which information travel bothers the police a great deal. We've seen videos of the killings in Isli, and they did not have a better defense against it. So that is what we are seeing. It's not just the journalists, though. It is also the human rights defenders in some of these informal settlement areas.
Even as the clashes were ongoing, the acting CS for the Interior, Fred Matiang'i, claimed on August 12th the police had not used firearms, nor killed anyone, and those targeted were lawbreakers, mostly looters. The CS suggested that the few people who might have been killed were criminals who were looting shops, and the police had only acted to stop such criminal attempts.
We have been briefed about individuals who were trying to burn a bus. Now, the actual terminology we would use about those people is that they are criminals. And criminals are dealt with depending on the circumstances they are found.
That argument in some instances, fall flat. Baby Pendo, was she demonstrating? Silas was actually a Form 4 student at Barding High School. He was in his house studying. They went in, took Silas, bet him on a sewage trench.
There's a way to control the matter, not using direct bullet to kill people.
It's only a blind person who cannot tell that they are using excessive force. Anybody who has gone to school, even the police went to school. When you're punishing a kid, you don't over-punish a kid.
The 37-page document goes on to highlight that families could not afford post-mortem, nor has the police or the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, whose mandate is to investigate deaths or any serious injuries caused by police, visited any of the families. Zinzi Kibiku, KTN News.